Hey everybody, welcome back to Peak RC. Today we are going to work on the crawler course. Just going to fill in the holes a little bit, put some texture on it. Once that dries, I'll paint it. I don't know if I'll get to the paint today or not, depending on whether or not it's dry. A couple new things we got going on. I did just buy our first 3D printer, so I've been messing around with that a bunch. I'm going to build some stuff for the RC cars, little jumps, I don't know, K-rail, jersey barriers, whatever you're going to call them, for a little RC track or something. I did, however, print a body for the SCX24 crawler. I got to do a couple little repairs to it and figure out how I'm going to mount it, glue it all together kind of thing. But I think it turned out pretty cool. I just downloaded the file offline and printed it that way. I don't know if you have a 3D printer, but there's websites you can go to get free STL files to put through into your printer. I'm super new to it. I'm trying to learn a CAD program right now so I can build my own things. I've done a couple little things here and there that seem to work out okay. I've also had some massive fails. So I'm still trying to figure that out, but there'll be some 3D printer content on here as well. That printer's capable of doing, it has a camera inside, so it's capable of doing like time-lapse videos and like incremental pictures along the way. So I'm gonna definitely use some of that. Maybe I'll screen record, something, building something in there, and then the whole process of sending it to the printer and all that. Like I said, I'm still new to it, so I'm trying to figure it all out right now. But here's what we got going on as far as the crawler body, and then I'll show you what we got going on as far as the crawler course. So here's our crawler body here. It's like a old square body style Toyota pickup. Turned out pretty good. The little back wall came disconnected right here, so I got some glue to glue it back together. I got to clean some of the lines up and stuff, and then I haven't decided yet if I'm going to paint it or leave it black. Probably paint it something different. This is the tailgate and the bed here. We did a pretty good job. You got a bumper. The bumper's supposed to have like a bull bar on it, but when I tried to peel it off the supports, it broke. So I don't know, maybe we'll use that, maybe we'll build something else. And then it's got a little front grille that needs to be cleaned up and get some of that excess off. Like I said, I got this file off of Maker World, and then I just used my slicer and put it through the 3D printer. So here's what we got going on with the course. Still looks like you saw it the last time. We've had some family in town, so we've kind of just been hanging out. This is just, here I put some texture on it and filled in some of the holes, just to kind of test to make sure it was gonna work. This is just, I put some paint on it just to test my colors and see. I still need to go pick up a can of black and a can of like dark gray maybe, but we'll do that towards the end anyways. So, but yeah, don't mind that dirty fridge, it's a garage fridge. Anyways, that's what we got going on still. It's a work in progress. This is what we're gonna be using today. If we get to the paint, like I said, I have two colors of just like a matte color, or I guess satin finish is what it is. Like a tan and a brown. And then we have this stone texture from Krylon. That one is textured. I haven't really noticed it making a big difference. As far as like, I painted it here a little bit, you can see the speckles. So there's probably a difference, but I think I need to smooth all this out before I put that on, and then it'll definitely help with that. I got a dead fly in the garage over here. But, so today I'm just gonna be putting some Mod Podge on it with like a little, this little paintbrush here, sponge paintbrush deal. And then I have some coarse texture and some like medium sand there that we're gonna sprinkle on top of it. That'll give us our texture, and then once we get it all textured and dried up and the holes filled in and whatnot, then we'll come back behind it and paint it. I'll probably paint primarily the stone over the top, and then I'll come back later with the colors that I want. Just because that stone does kind of spit all over it with little black specks. I'm guessing the other one will do little white specks, but so let's get cooking. So here I just have the little sponge brush here and Mod Podge, which just looks like Elmer's glue to me. I'm just gonna put it on fairly thick and try to dab it in to fill in these holes. This is what we got going right now. I don't want to put too much glue on at one time without texturing a little bit, just because I don't want the glue to set up on me. It's pretty hot in the garage, so I got that swamp cooler going on my fan on my phone. Try to keep my phone cool so it doesn't overheat. But I'm just gonna go little sections at a time, and then I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle some texture on there, and then I'll just keep going. A little black on there. This is that's kind of a coarse texture. You can kind of see it here in my hand. It's pretty coarse, bigger grains. This is the other one I got here. This one's a sand, like a kind of a coarse sand. Maybe not that coarse, but it's just something to add a little extra to it, I guess. So whatever doesn't stick to the glue, I will come back later and just blow it off of there before I paint it, or maybe I'll just paint over it. I don't know. Like I got a big puddle of it right here, but that's fine. It's not hurting nothing. So that's my first little section there, and then we'll just let her rip and keep going. This is kind of what we got going as of right now. I think it's looking pretty good. I wasn't worried about this too much because I think I'm gonna put a fascia board on it and then maybe raise it up the side here. I know it looks like a lot, it looks real busy right now, but I think what I'm gonna do is clean out my shop vac, and then just like you can see where that sand's really hard to lay down evenly. I'm just gonna clean out my shop vac and suck up whatever's loose once this is dry. And if I clean it out, then I vacuum it all up, and I should be able to put it back in a like a tub, one of these tubs or whatever, and reuse it on a later project. I mean, I still have to do that side and that, and then we're gonna add some more stuff to it. So for now, we have about half of it done. But that's kind of what we got going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and that was one full bottle of Mod Podge. That is a 16-ounce bottle of Mod Podge. That was one full bottle. There towards the end, you'll probably see that I just started pouring it on there. It seemed like it was way less tedious than dipping the paintbrush in over and over and over and over and over again. So I'm gonna go, I only had one bottle of that, so I'm gonna go ahead and run out and grab like maybe 3 more bottles. 3 more bottles, I think. One to get the rest of that, maybe the 1.5 to get that, and a little bit to get that. So I'll be right back. All right, everybody, so this is what we have. This was 3.5 bottles of Mod Podge and almost the entire containers of the sand and the little decorative pebble stuff, or whatever you want to call it. You could probably get it done with a lot less, but there's a lot of work. So I just kind of started tossing it on there, and like I said, I'm gonna come back by and just run the vacuum over the top of it to pick up what's left over. That way, you know, the paint looks decent on top of it. Then we're gonna come back and we're gonna put a few layers of paint on it. So I'll check back with you in a minute. All right, so this is what it looks like after we vacuum it all up. I forgot to empty vacuum cleaner, so all the stuff I vacuumed is useless, which that's fine, that's whatever. Oh, we're kind of done with the texture for right now anyway, so I'll figure out where else we're gonna add to this. So but yeah, that's what it looks like after we sucked up all the excess. So now we're gonna go ahead and let that dry for a little bit and come back and paint it. And I don't really have a plan as far as how to paint it goes. I'm thinking about shining a light like this way on it, or maybe from the back, and then once I paint it all, shining that light from the back and then painting like all the shadows a little darker color. Same thing with this one. I'll probably try to have it to where like it's if the sun is shining the same direction, so there won't be many shadows on that side probably, but we'll see what it turns out like. It might turn out not too great, but I'll be right back. All right, so that's painted there. I tried to put like a little darker on this side a little bit for the shadows, give it a couple little tire mark lines, I guess. I don't know, I just kind of went willy-nilly with it. I think it looks pretty cool. It almost looks camouflage and not like natural landscape to me. So I'm not super stoked about that. But this is this side here. And we'll come back tomorrow when it's all dry and we'll take some rips on it. All right, so it's the next day and everything's dried up. Looks good. Let's give it a go. Well, that didn't work out. Let's try a different path. Show you what we got going on here. The truck is fully flexed out. Trying to flip over backwards. This is level. The phone currently is level with the table. That's how vertical that is. I think maybe if I put limiting straps on it, that might help, but let's give it another rip and see if we can make it up there to the top. Landed it. Try the other side. Okay, so I'm realizing the issue I'm having is the tires are rubbing. Not the only issue, obviously. Okay, now let's give this one a go. So the issue that I'm noticing is I get a lot of tire rub. As you can see, it's rubbing the body right there. If I drive forward, it'll pull the body over it. Now the body's over it. When I back up, it starts to, like right now I'm holding the trigger all the way in reverse. And it's not, that tire's bound up. It's probably bound up on the other side too. But if I let the tire go straight, it immediately starts to go. So I just need to trim the body up. I did it a little bit. You might be able to see it. Turn this guy around for you. I did it a little bit. Did it a little bit on this side here. You can see that front fender's got a much bigger clearance. The problem was I wasn't using like a hobby knife, whatever you want to call it, the little tiny razor knife deals. I was using just a razor blade and trying to cut it and break it off, and I just wasn't getting as precise of a cut as I wanted. So I do need to pick one of those up. I keep forgetting to. We just had a lot going on, but it doesn't, you can see it still rubs the body a little bit on this side, so it still needs to be trimmed back a little bit, but it's not as bad. The rear rubs the body a little bit. I think if I get some weighted bead locks and maybe some different tires even, these are the stock tires that came on it, and we've driven it in the dirt a little bit and in the dust and all kinds of different stuff. So those tires, they don't have a whole lot of grip to them. Plus I've been driving it on this table that had powder from that plaster cloth, like dry plaster on it, and so there's like powder on the tires a little bit. But all in all, I think it's pretty cool. I think that the course turned out pretty nice. I'll take another look at it now that it's all dried up. So this is the course here. You can see on the back side we still just have our boxes and stuff showing. I'm gonna take, once I build Easton's ramp out of that press board stuff, I'm gonna use what's left and kind of build just a cover on the backside, just so it doesn't look like that. And then, like I said, I think I'm gonna put a fascia across it, just a little border wall. Make everything look a little bit better. But I think it turned out pretty good. There's a couple little spots already. This spot right here, you can see the paint's missing. I just kind of rubbed my finger over it and some of those little pebbles came up. I think if I continue to have that issue, I'm going to just layer another layer of the Mod Podge over the top. Wait for that to dry just to hold all that stuff in, and then paint it again. That Mod Podge stuff dries pretty clear, so I'll still be able to see the general color and paint back over it, you know, to get the same look that I'm looking for. Like I said, it's not perfect. I made these lines down here a little bit too dark. It's not a huge deal. Like I said, it's not like it's perfect or anything. I tried to add some like little shadowing in on this side as if the light was shining from this side. I don't know, I think it turned out pretty cool. I'm looking for something to add to the rest of it. I don't know if I just want to make it like random little, like a trail or something with random little rocks and boulders and stuff around the edges and whatnot. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I did, when I started this project, I was thinking about putting a little waterfall, not a waterfall so much, but like a stream, have it trickling out and then build like a waterproof little channel, but make it look natural, that it could flow down through, and then have it flow, you know, kind of through the table into like a little pond over here or something. And I was just gonna put the system, like the pump underneath, like a little pond pump underneath, and have it run the water under the table back up to this side. I gave up that idea just solely for the purpose of, I still think that I can flip this table over and put another piece of plywood on the other side. I'm gonna do that. This is about 18 inches tall right here. From the top of the table to the top right here, it's about 18 inches tall. So as long as I have, you know, 2 foot of clearance under the table, I should be able to rotate the table over. I'm not too concerned about any of this stuff falling off. It's super light, and I hot glued it down, and now it's kind of all held together by all the plaster cloth and the styrofoam, or not styrofoam, but the spray foam and whatnot. I mean, this stuff's not going anywhere. I'm shaking the table right now with it. I don't think it's gonna fall off or anything. The foam one I did over here with the insulation foam, that's glued to the table with like liquid nails. That's not going anywhere. So I'm not concerned about it falling off. Obviously, I'd like to put something on here, something else on here. I've seen those little mud pit things where people put the little like round pebbles in there, so that when you drive in the truck in there, it's like imitates mud, where it all moves around as you're trying to drive over the top, across the top of it, and it's just kind of a cool little test for the vehicles. I've thought about doing that. It's still an option. Maybe, like I said, I have that 3D printer, so maybe I'll build the deal out of the 3D printer, like the pocket that it sits in, and then I'll just build it to where I have like a little cover for it that snaps in. That way, if I want to flip the table over, I can snap the little cover on and flip the table over, and I don't have to worry about that stuff going everywhere or having to empty it out every time. Obviously, if I flip it over, I'll have to pull the flag out, but that's fine. But that's what we got working with so far. Stay tuned for the next one. Like I said, if you guys have any input as far as what I should put in this area, all this open space, let me know, please, because I'm still trying to figure it out myself. Like, I just don't know what to put in there. I don't want it to be like crazy busy, but I also don't want it to just be plywood, you know. And even if I paint the plywood, it'll look better than it does right now, but it's going to be odd looking because you're going to have this big flat landscape, perfectly flat landscape, and then all of a sudden a mountain. The other thing that I did do is I bought some moss, and I was gonna like glue moss down in like these deep crevices and stuff over here just to make it look a little more natural. But that to me looks very deserty. The way I have it painted looks very deserty, and I don't think the moss would go with it, to be honest with you. So I think we might ixnay on the moss, but I don't know. I think it turned out pretty good. What do you guys think? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.